watching Genting Bet. We're here at St George's Park. It's England's 2020 European qualifier against Bulgaria. It's me, Pete Colley, Nick Collins. I'm going to say my team for this game, and Nick's going to pull me apart and tell me exactly how they're going to play. But I'm starting with Pickford in goal, Danny Rose on the left, Alexander Arnold on the right. I'm going for centre-halves, Harry Maguire, Tyrone Mings. A midfield of Mason Mount, Jordan Henderson, Harry Winks. And then up front, obviously Sterling in the form that he's in right now, Harry Kane and Marcus Rashford. Now, Nick.
Pete, I'm not going to pick it apart, but I think you're bang on with up front and in goal. Midfield, I've got a feeling that Harry Winks is going to play a part. I also think that Ross Barkley might get in. I think I'll agree with you about Jordan Henderson. I think his form absolutely merits him starting on Saturday. In defence, it's interesting as well, because Danny Rose playing very well for Tottenham, no question about it. Ben Chilwell, though, is a big Gareth Southgate favourite, and I wonder whether he may start at left back. I like the idea of Alexander Arnold at right back. He's showing with Liverpool, just with each game almost, he gets better and better. And I think at international level you could find he's going to become a very special player. So yes, I'd have him there. I'd obviously have Jordan Pickford, the hero of the penalty shootout in the third-fourth playoff in England's last game in June against Switzerland. Central defence, Harry Maguire, no question there, you'd have him. It's whether it's going to be Tyrone Mings, and what a story it would be if he did make his debut this Saturday at Wembley. Or will it be Joe Gomez of Liverpool, maybe even Michael Keane of Everton? They're both going to be putting up a strong case for inclusion. I think I might lean towards one of them for Saturday, and perhaps we'll see Tyrone Mings on Tuesday night at Southampton against Kosovo. Southampton, of course, the club that rejected him for being too small, that rejected the 6'5" Tyrone Mings for being too small.
You were rejected, I think, by Southampton as well for being too small as a youth player coming through. Is that right?
It is right, yeah.
How tall are you now?
I'm 6'5".
If we look at Jordan Pickford, he's got the best stats so far for a goalkeeper, English goalkeeper, in the Premier League. It's his distribution, really, that keeps him in the number one shirt, isn't it?
Well, yes, it is that. It's also, I think, what he brings. He's almost more than a keeper, isn't he? He's at the back four the whole time. He's very, very audible in terms of this is the way he likes to play. If you can be aggressive as a goalkeeper, he is. I think at his best, he's an extraordinary shot stopper as well, and can make some terrific decisions. And as you say, the distribution, the speed of his feet, that all helps. The way he performed in that third-fourth playoff against Switzerland with the terrific penalty, sending some of their keeper the wrong way, and then producing a fantastic save at full stretch to win England third place in the bronze medal in the European Nations League final. Yes, he has to be the man in possession. But it's great also to see that Tom Heaton is back and knocking quite loudly on the door and saying, come on, I'm playing week in, week out in the Premier League. I'm going to be kept busy by Aston Villa's defence, I suspect, during the course of the season, and that can only help him in terms of putting his case to Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, there's Gareth Southgate so far with his captain has gone. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong. There are two types of captains. There are those that do, and there are those that give the advice on the pitch. He's gone with a can-do, hasn't he? He's gone with somebody who shows what they can do. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Harry Kane's got a fantastic scoring record. It's better than 1 and 2 for England. He is very much the leader, the talisman, the player that his teammates look to, the one that can perhaps produce something when England aren't going so well, break a deadlock, score an equaliser, or finish another team off with another goal. That's what Harry Kane is great at. In the summer, England very much hamstrung by the fact that he wasn't fully fit and so didn't have the impact at the Nations League that Gareth Southgate would have hoped for. But yeah, Harry Kane, the undoubted leader of this England squad on and off the field. Many players take their lead from him, and what a wonderful example, what a great role model he is, quite rightly the England captain, and could be for some years to come as well. Not a brilliant start to the Premier League season then?
Well, no, but then August and Harry Kane have never been the best of friends, have they? And he has actually scored, we shouldn't forget that. Yeah. But yeah, I know what you're saying, but I don't think that will affect Gareth Southgate's thinking in terms of who leads the line. Harry Kane's done it on too many occasions for Gareth Southgate to be too much influenced by the fact that maybe Harry Kane, by his own high standards, hasn't started the season as well as he might have liked. But on the other hand, this is just the kind of game that could get him going. Saturday at Wembley, big crowd, something to prove, 3 points at stake. Yeah, I mean, this is Harry Kane's kind of game, and I think England will hope for exactly that we see a goal or two from him, or certainly a big performance towards an England win.
When Gareth Southgate was asked about Tyrone Mings, he said the one thing I like about him is his leadership. Now this is a different captain, isn't it? This is a man that goes out there and talks to you throughout the game. He listens to the goalkeeper. He distributes that information around the team. Completely different to Kane.
Well, yes, he is, but he's also physically very imposing as well, isn't he? 6'5", as we've mentioned, and he is very well spoken. He's very articulate. He sees the game well. He understands it really well, and he can lead in a different way. And there's nothing wrong with that. That can be just as good as someone who leads by example, someone who shows you what can be done and remaining cool under pressure. That's the kind of thing that Tyrone Mings has done. We've seen him winning so many aerial duels and so many defensive duels in the Premier League already this season. And as for the number of interceptions and blocks, well, it's ridiculous. Definitely one for the future as a potential England captain, although you're always wary about tarring someone with that particular brass of being FEC, future England captain. But certainly the right material from what we've seen, yeah, absolutely. And again, fits with this new kind of England from many different backgrounds and experiences, but all coming through being fairly humble as well, which is really nice to see.
Well, Mings was asked about leadership and the qualities that Gareth Southgate saw in him. This is what he had to say.
Obviously, everybody has different ideas of leadership. Some lead with their voice and some lead with their actions. I think, talking about Aston Villa, Jack's probably a great example of a player that leads with his actions. He's never scared to get on the ball and kind of get a grip of the game. I'm very much a talker and I leave everything on the pitch. So in terms of the organisation of the team is something that I feel comfortable doing. So for me, what makes a great leader is somebody that can organise and take control, perhaps when others wouldn't want to.
Other youngsters getting their debuts, or potential debuts, I should say, on Saturday or next Tuesday. Mason Mount was mentioned. He's had a good start with Chelsea.
Oh, terrific, yes. I mean, I was at the Norwich-Chelsea game when I saw him score that goal, and he's scored a couple of goals already in the Premier League. It's not just the fact that he's scoring goals, it's what he's bringing to the team as well. Assists as well. And another that seems to have effortlessly stepped up. He was obviously with Frank Lampard at Derby last year and has gone back to his parent club Chelsea along with Lampard. Lampard has shown full confidence in him, and he's got in that Chelsea starting lineup. If you're in a Chelsea starting lineup week in, week out, and you're an Englishman, you're going to have a good chance of playing for England. I fully expect to see Mason Mount during the course of these two internationals, whether it's from the start of the first one or whether it's the start of the second one or coming off the bench in both. But yeah, I think Mason Mount will definitely have an England cap or two by the end of this doubleheader. He is a terrific player and can only get better. And I do see him developing much more with England as this season unfolds.
And of course, Mason Mount, Tyrone Mings, both played in the playoff final at Wembley for Aston Villa and Derby respectively. But Mings had a lot to say about Mason Mount and his transference from the Championship to the Premier League. This is what he said.
But I should give a special mention, I think, to Mason. I think what a great start he's had to adapting to life in the Premier League as well. And he's a lot younger than me. I think if you see what he's done in his performances, he's obviously a fantastic player.
Well, Nick, I've named Mason Mount in my midfield. You think it's unlikely for him to start on Saturday, don't you?
I don't know that it's necessarily unlikely. I've just got a feeling that maybe the likes of Harry Winks and Ross Barkley may have a bigger claim at this particular stage. But listen, if Mason Mount's done well in training, Gareth Southgate's never been frightened to throw someone in for their debut if they've not been involved with an England squad before. So I do think we'll see him. I'm just not 100% convinced that we'll necessarily see him in the starting lineup to begin with, just because I think there's one or two other players who've been knocking on the door a bit more, who've produced some performances at international level for Gareth Southgate. He may be tempted to go with them. But hey, in a way, I hope you're right, Pete, because I'd love to see Mason Mount start for England. I think he's a fabulous talent.
Jordan Henderson, I saw him Liverpool against Arsenal a couple of weeks back. He'd actually sat the previous game on the bench, but came out, had a fine game for Liverpool, and is in general playing well for them. Do you expect to see him?
Yeah, I mean, he never lets England down or Liverpool down, does he? He's Mr. Reliable, he's Mr. Experience now, 50 caps for England. Reads the game so well, he can link play so well as well. I think that he, for me, would be one of the first picks in an England team, although I know that Gareth has looked at Declan Rice before as a potential holding midfielder, but Jordan Henderson, yeah, and perhaps because it's Bulgaria at Wembley and it's not a team that will probably attack England too much, that he may get more of a licence to push forward a bit. Still looking for that first England goal? Well, it'll be a good time to get it on Saturday.
Gareth Southgate has some very hard jobs, hard tasks to do as England manager. We'll see that over the weekend. One of the nicest things he has to do is give these call-ups, isn't it? And particularly to make your debut for England. Tyrone Mings spoke in the press conference earlier just about how he felt and his family felt when they heard he'd been picked for his first England squad.
I'd just come in from training at Villa and found out that, looking at my phone, as I usually do, got a text with all the information that I needed to report for England duty. Few swear words in there, my reaction. So, amazing moment, one that I'll never forget. And it was probably apt that I could share it in the changing room with my teammates at the time. So, yeah, great feeling.
And the family's reaction?
Very emotional. Parents were obviously the first people I called. Yeah, a really, really proud moment, I think, for them. They were probably a little bit more surprised than I would have liked. But nah, obviously, their emotions at the time were probably everything they've put into my journey and helping me to get to this point. They felt that it was a really special moment.
So not far now, Nick, till Saturday, till the big kick-off. We have to be honest. Looking at it, we're expecting an England win. What can Bulgaria offer?
Well, look, anything other than an England win would be a major setback for this squad and for Gareth Southgate. They've played 2, they've won 2, they've scored 10 goals so far. They've beaten the Czech Republic by 5 goals to 0, and they're expected to provide England with their biggest challenge within this group. Bulgaria, well, they began with a couple of draws, which looked reasonably encouraging, but then they've subsequently lost to the Czech Republic, and they also lost at home to Kosovo, albeit with a very late goal. But 2 points in 4 games would suggest that they are the rank outsiders in this game. Yes, look, I've seen Bulgaria many years ago when Glenn Hoddle was the manager, come to Wembley and manage to cling on for a goalless draw, but they tend to be more of a threat in Sofia rather than on their travels. So I would expect an England victory. That's what tends to happen when England are at home to Bulgaria, and I don't see any reason why it shouldn't happen this Saturday.
And if we're looking at the form, we should expect goals, shouldn't we?
Well, yes, we should, and not just because England scored 5 goals each time in their previous 2 Euro 2020 qualifiers, but because of the quality of the players they've got playing up front. Raheem Sterling, Harry Kane, Marcus Rashford, to name but 3, but also midfielders that look to try and score, the likes of Ross Barkley, and look, Mason Mount, if he gets a chance, he's among the goals. Plus there's always the danger from set pieces, the defenders to get forward. 6'5" Tyrone Mings if he gets a chance, and we've all seen Harry Maguire, how much mayhem he can cause in an opponent's penalty area. So you would expect England to be able to score goals, especially with the likes of Alexander-Arnold down one side and Ben Chilwell, Danny Rose, whoever down the left-hand side, the chance to attack, to create opportunities. And if England do that, you would expect them to score goals rather than a goal.
I'm going to put you on the spot. 10 goals in the last 2 games. How many do you think they'll score on Saturday?
I reckon 3, but if they start really well, it could be more than that. But I'd expect 3 is the base number that England should expect. And that's not being disrespectful to Bulgaria or suggesting that they won't come and put up a fight. But I do believe England, if they can get ahead in that first half and start building, there's plenty of goals in that team. And they'll be really keen to start their season off with a win. They're at Wembley, a big crowd. It's a perfect opportunity for them to absolutely take control of Group A. They're top of it at the moment with 2 wins out of 2, 3 wins out of 3, and then 4 wins out of 4. Has a nice ring about it.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Nick. You can check out all the enhanced odds at gentingbet.com.